Hello everyone, and welcome. Today we will be discussing something that I bet you have never heard of before. Persons. Did you know you have one? I have one. In fact, everyone has one. The trouble is, we are all using the wrong ones. I hope you are sitting down. Because this is such a bizarre topic. You are not who you think you are. This is the story of your person. And I will show you how you have been tricked into being the surety for a foreign corporation's fictitious state person. So, please welcome Reggie. Hey Reggie. Which way? Hello Dave. Same way. Bloody hell mate. You look like crap. No shit. Just had to pay some more fines. I feel like I have been hit by a bus again. Hey, dummy. That is because you are still looking after the state person, mate. I have no idea what you're talking about. Do you realize that you have been unknowingly captured to become the bloke who pays for a fictitious person? No way. Yeah way. Plus, did you realize you have continued to unknowingly use the identity of a person that is not you? You are shitting me. And do you know that a foreign corporation has created a de facto government in order to be able to exploit you? Mate, I really think you are pulling my leg. Okay. Do you want me to prove it to you? Yes. Yes I do. Okay, so did your parents register your birth with a so-called government department? Yes. I was born in Queensland, so I was registered with births, deaths, and marriages in Queensland. Righto. So let us look at a couple of the words you just said. Do you know what the words in Queensland mean? Firstly, Reggie, you can't be born in something. You can only be born on something. For example, born on the land. Always remember that. In legal terms, in a legal dictionary such as Bouvier's or Black's, the word in means under or based on the laws of. Really? Under whose laws? Well, in this case, if you say that you were born in Queensland, well, you are saying that you were born under the laws of Queensland. Is that so bad? Well, wait and see. Okay, did you know that the word Queensland, when used on any government document, is referring to the foreign corporation called State of Queensland, Australia? 1244818. No way. Yeah way. Here, have a look at this web page. It is a company's search on the United States Securities and Exchange Commission website. But Dave, that is an American exchange? Yes. Yes it is. Notice the company name, State of Queensland, Australia, near the top left written in black. Yes. And can you see that the address is care of a corporation's trust, Queensland Treasury Corp? Well, I will be buggered. Amazing, isn't it? So, just like any corporation, the corporate policies and rules will only apply to the employees of that corporation. Can you see that? Yes. Of course. So let's play with the words here. If we replace the words corporate policies and rules with statute laws and regulations, they can still only ever apply to the employees of that corporation. But I don't work for that corporation, so their rules wouldn't apply to me. Is that right? Well, Reggie, maybe you don't actually work for a department or a local council, but if you have any contracts with the state of Queensland, Australia, then technically you are under their authority. What do you mean by contracts? Well, you said your birth was registered with a government department, didn't you? Shit, was that a contract? Well, it was the first document that allowed you to start contracting with them. It was the beginning of a trust that was designed to go to a proper government, so you can be the beneficiary from your birth registration. But, because the form was property of the corporation, your registration allowed them to create a new fictitious identity that had a name just like yours. Oh dear, yeah, I know it is difficult to understand. But allow me to continue. Then your parents signed the form, and then sent it away thinking that the government would hold your birth registration in trust for you. Your parents hoped that one day you would benefit from the wealth of the nation. But, because the registration created a fictitious state person, every time you used the birth certificate to prove your identity you were contracting with the corporation. Holy crap, oh but wait, there's more. Bugger, how many contracts do you think you have with the corporation? Not sure, I think it is one. The birth certificate, Reggie, remember that was only the creation of the state person. Guess again. Oh no. You mean I have more? Many more. Do you have a bank account? Yes. Driver's license? Yeah. A motor vehicle? Yes. Medicare card? Yeah. Centrelink number, or pension card, or any type of benefit card? Yes. All of those. And I bet you have a tax file number? Oh, bugger me. Any insurance policies? Yes. Passport? Yes. I threw that in there because it is issued from another corporation. We will discuss that on another day. I bet you are a citizen. Yeah, an Australian citizen. Reggie, I could go on and on. Can you see now how many implied or expressed contracts you have with this mob? The fact is, if you have any state-issued benefits, cards, or licenses, or papers, or identification of any kind, then each of those is a contract with a corporation that will throw your arse in jail if you don't do what they say. Oh, I feel like I am about to be hit by that bus again. But more importantly, for this scam to work, the corporation has to rely on your belief that the new state person certificate is you. What the hell? How do they do that? Firstly, they made the name of the fictitious state person exactly like yours. They made the creation date of him or her to be the same date that you were born, and they put the same name as your parents to be the same as yours, but those details were actually your parents, fictitious persons, on the certificate. Then they make it almost impossible to open a bank account, or get a driver's license, or Centrelink number without using their state person birth certificate. Yes, the government has a shitload of rules when you are trying to prove your identity. In fact, what you are proving when you use their birth certificate is that you're willing to contract with them. Have you ever wondered why you can only use government-issued identification when applying to so-called government departments? Bloody hell, I have never thought about that. They need to make sure that they are not dealing with you. They will only contract with their own creation, which is the fictitious state person. That way, they know they have ultimate control, and they have control of you, Reggie, if you don't realize that who they are dealing with is not you. Do you remember what identification you needed to open your first bank account? I think it was my birth certificate. Yes. That is right. So when you applied for what you thought was your birth certificate, they sent you a certificate of the fictitious state person, and you didn't know that the birth certificate you received was not you, never was you, and will never be you. Hey Dave, this is really starting to freak me out. Sorry Reggie, but this is serious. No shit. Exactly. So, why do I need a person anyway? Good question. Depending on your religious beliefs, somebody or something created the earth and the universe. If you believe in the Bible, for example, it says that God created the earth and that man has dominion over the earth. This means that everything is here for everyone to enjoy and use. But we cannot own it. So, everyone can use everything, but we cannot own things. Yes, exactly. What can you take with you when you die? Nothing. That's right. We only have the privilege to use something. So, a long time ago, when man started to swap and trade, buy and sell things, man started to assume they owned things and arguments started, and so to stop the squabbles over who owns the things, man created paper titles to things. Gee, slow down a bit mate, this is heavy. Okay, a title is just ownership on paper, just like a land title when you purchase land. You don't actually own the land, your person has paper ownership, you have control and the privilege to use it. So, me for example, I need to use a person, or to be more precise, my own person, to act for me on a piece of paper. So, if your real person is not the person on the title, then that thing is not yours on paper. Shit, that would mean that I would not have control of it, or worse, have to use it according to someone else's rules. Exactly, now you are starting to understand the scam. Can you now see why it is so bloody important to use your person when dealing in commerce and not use the state person? Yeah, because then the state would own it, and have control over me. Precisely. Thanks everyone for joining me today. Remember what we have learned: the person that is on your birth certificate is not you, but a fictitious person that you put your body on the line for. In fact, you have not actually used your real person since you were born. We will talk about that in another series. See you tomorrow, when we will talk about some other corporations that are controlling us, and some of the other different names of the state persons you have. Bye for now.